A local radio station getting some praise for its work with the Hispanic community. We've got the details. Plus, A&M medical students are receiving hands-on experience in a unique way. We tell you how cadavers are involved. And it's a bike ride like no other. Cyclists pedaling from Houston to the Brazos Valley. Find out more about this weekend's big ride. Your Krhd News starts right now.
Connecting the Brazos Valley. This is Krhd News.
We start tonight with major news relating to COVID-19 in the Brazos Valley. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany DeFran. St. Joseph's Health is returning to a pre-COVID visitation policy. Starting tomorrow, 2 visitors are allowed in a patient room at one time. The policy impacts the Regional Hospital, College Station Hospital, Burleson Hospital, Grimes Hospital, and the Madison Hospital. Visitation is from 9 to 9. All visitors are still required to wear a mask at all times while inside the hospital. For medical students at A&M, receiving their first patient is a bittersweet moment. Texas A&M College of Medicine students gain hands-on training in a unique way. The anatomy of the body.
There's no way that I would have been able to really adequately understand the human body in such a three-dimensional way. I really feel that their gift to us has made all the difference.
Students say it's an invaluable opportunity.
And all of these individuals who donate their body do so for the purpose of educating our students. So we have our students visualize these individuals as their first real patients that they experience in their medical careers.
During these studies, they focus on basic instrument handling and dissection techniques.
Whole body donation is a very, very unique opportunity that the public has to participate in the education of our health professional students.
With the partnership of a local funeral center, it's all made possible.
It means a lot that we're able to help medical research. We're able to provide families some comfort in knowing that they've been able to make a difference with their loved one being donated to science and to medical research.
Students feel that difference almost immediately, as they say their academic careers are propelled by their experiences.
And it allowed me to grow personally, professionally, and hopefully to be a more empathetic and understanding provider once I'm actually in the hospital doing rounds.
Earlier today, the Willed Body Program students provided a proper ceremony as a form of saying thank you to their first patients. There are several ways that people can donate their bodies. If you are interested in contributing to the future of medicine and science, you can contact Callaway Jones Funeral Center for more information on coordinating body donations to Texas A&M Health Science Center College of Medicine. A local coalition has received recognition from the state of Texas for its work on suicide prevention. The Brazos Valley Coalition on Suicide Prevention was named the 2022 Outstanding Local Coalition, awarded by the Texas Suicide Prevention Collaborative located in Austin. The coalition, founded in 2019, focuses their efforts to reduce suicide through education and teaching.
It means a lot to the community to know that, hey, this organization is here. We're top notch. We know how to help people prevent suicides as well as help people recover. So I think it's really important that we have the recognition, not so much for ourselves, but for the community to know that, hey, we're here and we're here to help people and we can do an effective job if given the opportunity.
Vance adds that coalition will continue its suicide prevention and awareness education, focusing in schools, universities, veterans organizations, and law enforcement agencies. The largest multiple sclerosis fundraiser in the nation will be making its way to College Station this weekend. For the first time in its 30-year history, the Texas MS 150 bike ride will end in Kyle Field on Sunday. Because of the pandemic and varying weather issues, College Station has missed out on being a part of this event for the last couple years. The event has already enrolled over 3,000 volunteers, and there's still time to sign up to help out. College Station residents will be able to witness the event in the form of roughly 7,000 or more bike riders near the Aggie campus this Sunday. A local radio station has been named a finalist for a prestigious award. KRHD News reporter Chris Talley is at La Jefa 102.7 FM with more.
It's in this building where we have two radio professionals who are headed to Miami to win their prestigious award for the Latin community.
Y continuamos aquí sintonizando a La Jefa 102.7.
It's all about the listeners for Nelly Mauricio of La Jefa 102.7 FM. She says it's an honor for her and the radio station to represent the Brazos Valley in Miami in June as a finalist for the Medalla de Cortez Awards.
It humbles us a lot. Me especially, it makes me realize that we're doing a great job doing what we are doing and what we have done so far, but also what we can do to improve, how to make it better, not only as a station, but also for the Hispanic community and the community itself.
With marketing a successful broadcast comes the leadership behind it. La Jefa is not only nominated for one, but 2 awards for the Medalla de Cortez. Ben Downs is general manager of the radio station and says this highlights the success La Jefa is producing.
We work really hard, and our staff puts in the hours, and we try to be everywhere where the Hispanic community is. It's nice for the recognition, but I'm not really sure that you can work much harder than we already are.
The Medalla de Cortez is awarded by the Radio Inc. Broadcasting Company. Deborah Parenti, president and publisher of Radio Inc., says why it's important to highlight the Hispanic broadcasters.
But we started the awards to specifically honor and recognize the achievements and the contributions of Hispanic radio broadcasters. And they've become a symbol of excellence. There's a medallion. We have a struck medallion with the image of Raul Cortez on it that's part of the plaque that they get every year. And we honor people, everything from management to programming to Station of the Year.
The awards are named in honor of Raul Cortez, founder of KCOR in San Antonio as the first Spanish-language radio station in the United States in 1946.
Whether you can expect any changes here in the Brazos Valley, they say they aren't changing anything at all when it comes to broadcasting for La Jefa 107 FM. In College Station, Chris Talley, KRHD News.
Former U.S. Marine Trevor Reed is back in Texas tonight after his surprise release from a Russian prison camp. Part of a secretive high-level prisoner swap, Reed touching down at a U.S. military facility in San Antonio, where he's now getting medical care. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos with the latest.
Trevor Reed arriving back on U.S. soil. His parents there to greet him at Joint Base San Antonio in Texas. His mother Paula tweeting, "It's been a very exciting day for the Reed family." Congressman August Pfluger also on hand, posting these pictures to Twitter.
Did he seem excited? Did he seem anxious? Kind of describe that.
Well, it's a long journey, so he was obviously very fatigued. His spirit is incredible. He's a survivor, he's a fighter, and there's obviously health concerns with him.
Reed held by the Russians for 3 years, his parents watching the dramatic prisoner swap that set him free, describing the moment to David Muir.
He looked horrible. He looked like he could hardly walk. He looked like he'd been walking shackled. In fact, when we both saw that video this morning, first time we started crying.
With their son back home, Reed's family hoping to draw attention to other Americans held in Putin's Russia. WNBA star and Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner detained since February for allegedly having hashish oil in her suitcase. Her wife, Cheryl, posted on Instagram, "My heart is overflowing with joy for the Reed family. I know the pain of having your loved one detained in a foreign country. That level of pain is constant." Another American, former Marine Paul Whelan, has been in Russian custody since 2018, accused of being a spy, which he has denied. Whelan now asking his brother, "Why was I left behind? Why hasn't more been done to secure my release?"
We will continue to do everything possible to bring Paul Whelan home. The president is focused on that, and we would say to him, we are going to continue to do everything possible to bring you home.
Trevor Reed is expected to spend some time here at this hospital. His family tells me he has a long road to recovery, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, San Antonio, Texas.
Tens of thousands of people are being denied health care, and that should be covered under their benefits. This is according to a new government report. Now, this applies to those enrolled in private Medicare Advantage plans. Federal investigators are now urging Medicare officials to strengthen oversight of private insurance plans and step up enforcement when they see inappropriate denials happening. Advantage plans are most popular among older Americans with around 28 million enrolled. Today, the FDA laid out a plan to ban menthol cigarettes and all flavored cigars. This is because there are worries the ingredient and its cooling effect can make tobacco more addictive. Menthol accounts for more than a third of all cigarettes sold in the United States, and experts say that menthol is favored by young and Black Americans.
We're doing this for the Black smoker who is a victim, whether they know it or not. Some people feel like they made a choice, they're an adult, but they are at the end of such a long string of structured predatory activities that have been going on for decades.
Groups like the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council say aggressive campaigns have targeted the Black community. The Truth Initiative, you've probably seen their campaigns on TV. They say that tobacco and racism are tied together. Now, the European Union and Canada have both already banned menthol.
And the conversation did not touch on what do Black people want, that this is something that's going to hurt Black people. And the fact that in the United States, that's a big part of this conversation really is a demonstration of the racism that we have faced with this product and the benign neglect of our own government to protect us.
Companies selling the products claim a ban will create an unregulated criminal market and could lead to increased interactions between police and the Black community. Now, Krhd disagrees with that, saying that the ban really targets manufacturers, not individual smokers. The FDA plan still has to go through a public comment period. The final rules could come out next year, but likely not take effect until 2024. Well, it is getting easier to get all the personal information that companies and data brokers have about you deleted. Ahead in our lineup, the growing service that's doing this.
Temperatures are not going to change a whole lot over the next few days. We're generally going to be in the mid-80s to upper 80s for the next several days, all the way into portions of next week. Now, we will be spending some dry weather tomorrow, but once we get into the weekend, that's when a few storms could return, just some isolated shower and thunderstorm activity here and there on Saturday evening and again on Sunday evening. Now, going into next week, we will still, at least for most every single day, have some small chances of rain in there, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. It won't be a lot all at once, and certainly some people will miss out on those showers, but hopefully we'll be able to add up enough rain over those few days to really make it worthwhile, because we do need some of that rainfall. Going into tonight, skies will get cloudy once again going into tomorrow morning. So a cloudy look to start your day, but by the time we get into the afternoon, a lot of those clouds will have dissipated, and we're looking at a partly cloudy view there for the rest of your Friday evening. Saturday, more of the same, a cloudy start to the morning, and this time there could actually be a couple showers in the area. Saturday afternoon, the clouds will again kind of break up, and so we're looking at a return of some sunshine here. Now, by 4:30, we'll be watching to see if some thunderstorms will be able to develop off this frontal boundary, which is really just here on the edge of the map. So getting closer to sunset, we could actually see some showers and storms pop just to our north and then work southeastward into the Brazos Valley. Now, will those be on the strong side? Maybe. I don't think maybe severe activity, but some of those storms could be strong. So tonight, looking at lows in the upper 60s, and tomorrow's high temperatures will be ranging between, about 85 to 87 degrees. Now, those thunderstorm chances I mentioned on Saturday evening, not very many of them, and again, Sunday evening, spotty at best. We'll be watching for maybe some strong storms as well on Monday. That looks to be your best chance here for the next little while. Highs will remain in the upper 80s through Wednesday and Thursday. We could finally come to a very dry period about 8 days from now.
The Center for Countering Digital Hate has been tracking how social media platforms respond when hateful posts are brought to their attention. A new report out today focuses on posts containing anti-Muslim and Islam hate speech. CCDH reported more than 500 posts like this to all the major platforms using the same tools provided to the average user. Overall, they found that platforms failed to act 89% of the time.
What's extraordinary is that the same numbers come up every time we look at, so we reported anti-Semitic posts to the platforms a year ago, and 9 out of 10 times no action was taken. We reported posts containing serious misinformation about COVID that might lead to less of life. Again, 9 out of 10 times no action taken. These platforms have a systemic problem, and it's because they are not incentivized to actually be responsible administrators of the public square.
It is eye-opening when you look at right here on your screen how each platform scored in this latest report. TikTok took the most action. That was just 64% of the time. YouTube, right there on the right of your screen, they did the worst, failing to act 100% of the time. YouTube did not return our request for comment on this finding. CCDH also found that people spreading anti-Muslim and Islam hate were able to connect easily through hashtags. Some hashtag death to Islam, that was a common one that they came across.
These are incredibly offensive terms, and of course that they are used by very dangerous people to inculcate violence against innocent Muslims.
CCDH says while they push platforms and lawmakers to take more action, there are some steps that you can take.
If you see someone spreading hate, immediately block them. Hate is purposeful. Like, they want to actually affect people. They want to either make you angry or they want to draw you in. The key is not to let them have their impact.
You can find more information about the efforts at counterhate.com.
Ever wondered what it feels like to touch the surface of the moon? Yeah, me too, but not anymore. That's because we're about to take you to a place where creating moon isn't just a reality, but a big business.
NASA is preparing to send humans back to the moon within 3 years and to Mars in the 2030s. A special kind of dirt is helping crews get ready. Maya Rodriguez takes us inside the lab that is making this dirt that has become a big business.
In the race into space, this might be some of its dustiest work.
This one is hematite.
Very red. Oh, it's very red, and it gets everywhere.
Welcome to Exolith Lab.
So this is, for example, our Lunar Highlands Stimulant. It makes up a good portion of the moon.
And their business is out of this world.
So what we do is we focus on making high-fidelity testing materials for spacecraft that are trying to land on the moon, Mars, asteroids, or any other planetary body.
Mix them together. Get them nice and homogeneous so they're all even.
In other words, making space dirt.
Stimulant is what we call it here.
Anna Medke is the Director of Operations for the lab.
So this is what we have after one spin.
Which is a collaboration of faculty, students, and staff based at the University of Central Florida.
We started off making just small little bowls of stimulant, but as demand has grown, we've gotten more and more industrial size.
In just 3 years, Exolith Lab went from making 3 tons of stimulant to more than 10 times that amount, 37 tons, shipping it all around the world.
It's just kind of like Amazon shipping, where you order something and we can ship it out within a day or two.
Definitely not clean work.
Their clients range from big aerospace companies to local schools.
All kinds of science fair projects can happen, right? We want to inspire young minds to also solve these big problems that we're trying to solve. Part of the charm, if you will, of moon dirt and Mars dirt like this one is that it has a tendency to get everywhere. And while that's not a problem for me here on Earth, it can be a major problem for machines when they head off-world. It sticks everywhere. Can you imagine if you were electronics trying to survive in this kind of environment? This was not the day to wear the black pants.
We can make lots of different variations of material here and make sure that whatever machines we devise, that they can operate in all sorts of different environments.
Previous testing over the decades relied on sand, but it didn't hit the mark in size or chemical composition. NASA's Artemis mission is preparing to send humans back to the moon within 3 years and plans to send humans to Mars in the 2030s, making simulated extraterrestrial dirt a must-have tool.
Planetary missions are expensive, so if we're going to send something to another planetary surface and then find that it gets stuck in a ditch and our rovers can't dig its way out, then we need to be able to prepare for that.
That's where Parks Easter comes in.
My job is pretty much
making sure it's as close as we can get.
With information collected from previous Moon and Mars rover missions, the lab uses materials found here on Earth, in lava rocks and other materials, to recreate surface soil found on other worlds.
I'm very invested in seeing where these rovers go. I mean, specifically for Viper, that's a rover that we've helped with a lot, and it's going to the moon. You know, when it lands, it's just going to be really exciting to see how well it works.
And to see whether the soil encountered up there hit the mark down here on Earth. In Orlando, Florida, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
Great stuff, Maya. Thank you. Now, a final check of our lineup today, detecting COVID and potentially other infections well before you have any symptoms. How that could be possible with just your heart rate and step count from your fitness tracker. COVID has pushed medicine forward in ways we hadn't thought possible before the pandemic. Dan Grossman introduces us to some math students who say their area of expertise is proving to be key in how we'll detect infections in the future.
Where we might see things that make absolutely no sense to our untrained eye,
we think numbers are really fascinating.
Caleb Meyer sees a masterpiece.
Postdocs and graduate students have spent over a year working on this algorithm, developing it, coding it.
On our phones, they pop up as alerts, but these are the strokes of genius behind them that allow us to understand things about ourselves we may never have been able to recognize without the help of a doctor.
So I think eventually the goal would be to develop some sort of individualized, personalized, real-time detection system of disease.
The current disease this algorithm helps detect is COVID-19, well before symptoms arise. Caleb was the lead graduate student who helped come up with it.
So the idea is we have this one signal, heart rate at time t, and then we can break it down into these different parameters.
By focusing on only two numbers from a smartwatch or fitness band, a heart rate and a step count, the equation can separate things like our resting heart rate, sleeping heart rate, and exercise heart rate, noticing small differences in each to determine whether we're sick with the virus days before a test would have been able to conclude it.
This is important for COVID, but I think it's just important for mobile health going forward.
Danny Forger is a professor of mathematics at the University of Michigan, where the algorithm was developed.
These similar algorithms could be applied to other infections or other diseases. And it really is all about the mathematics. Given this data, how much information and usable information can you get from it?
Not only does the equation shed light into the moment of infection, but the moment of recovery, as it can help us refine how long to quarantine or how long any possible infection might stick around for.
So especially maybe in low resource settings in different communities, this can give additional insight for individuals. Then also it can help understand recovery.
To us, they are numbers and letters that don't equal understanding. But to these select few, they're building blocks to potentially life-saving measures. I'm Dan Grossman.
All right, Dan, thank you. Now, manatees are a beloved species, and they've been dying in record numbers because of actions by humans killing their food. Now, we've told you about manatee rescue programs trying to help feed them lettuce to survive, but that's a short-term solution. Tomorrow, the new way researchers are helping that they think will protect these creatures long-term.
Jimmy Kimmel is up next. Good Morning Texas is on the air tomorrow at 5 a.m. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.